My son was at a birthday party at a laser tag facility when he was 12 years old, and there was an accident, and he ended up splitting his forehead open, requiring stitches and some medical treatment. Emotionally, it was tough because I had 3 kids, and this was the first time any of my children had been injured or hurt. So it was a pretty tough time, and especially to a wound to his face. We were worried about long-time scarring. Also at the time, the bills started coming in, and they were larger than I expected, and they also had recommended to go see a plastic surgeon, which was going to be more expense to us. And at that time, it was going to be a tough burden to pay those. I started to seek out an attorney after my son had been to the emergency room, and I approached the facility about taking some responsibility. I went to this facility at the time and had asked, can I see where the accident occurred so I can get a feeling for exactly what happened. It turns out that they have a big room where it's dark, there's smoke, they're shooting lasers, and it's lights going off everywhere, so the kids are running around, and there was an exposed sort of jagged steel beam coming out of the staircase, which my son ran into, causing the accident. A lot of the steel that was in there had been padded, but this area had not. So I felt like this was an avoidable accident and something that should not have happened. And that's when I approached them about, would they help out with the medical treatments? And they said no, because we'd signed a waiver. And at that point, I reached out to some friends who recommended the law firm of Zagoria. They're very professional. Also being sort of a smaller firm, they weren't one of these companies that were just churning and burning your cases. They spent a lot of time with me. They explained how the procedure was going to go. I worked personally with Mr. Zagoria on this case, and he was really easy to work with. He was really good explaining what was going to happen and how things were going to go. So yeah, I enjoyed working with them. They were very attentive to myself. I was always able to get David or one of his associates on the phone. If I didn't, they always called me back in a short amount of time. They were really quick to jump on the case, explained everything very clearly to me, what was going to happen, more than likely what the outcome would be. Reached out to the insurance company, got a settlement fairly quickly, and it was overall a good experience. They can explain what your rights are, because I could have easily have just walked away when they said, well, you signed a waiver, and just taken my lumps. But I was glad I reached out to a lawyer. He was pretty quick to explain that a waiver doesn't cover everything. That doesn't exhaust them from any liability, especially when you have a situation where you got exposed beam with kids running around in the dark. He said right there that they should take some responsibility, just from that incident. So. Had I not gone to him, I probably would have not reached any sort of settlement or had any help with the payments and medical expenses. If I could say something personally to David, I would just thank him for his work on my case, my son. It was a real tough time for us, injury to his face, and he really kind of calmed us and said, hey, I can help you guys on this. And I would just thank him for his hard work and getting us a settlement so quickly.